Hello fellow map makers, welcome to another live map making session. Hope you heard the bells ringing for our maps. It's the typical time again here, beautiful autumn weather, and the church bells are ringing around the town. Very nice. Good. A few people are here, nice to see everybody. Hope you have a good time. Hope you already saw the free monthly symbols I made available earlier today. The new set of high temple symbols by Mike Schley. They are available for download now from among your campaign category 3 plus downloads on the registration page. But we are looking at another great mapping artist today, not at Mike Schleck's work, but at Herwin Wielink instead. The Herwin Wielink Overland style, I think, is actually the first set he did for us. And it's a beautiful overland style that we liked so much that we've integrated it into the base campaign cartographer a while ago. So no need to have any special annual or anything. It will be listed as annual Herwin Wielink among your overland mapping styles. And that's the one we are looking at today. Good. So you do see a little bit of an example map here, one I did for the second set of symbols that we produced for the style. This is actually one of my old campaign maps for my own gaming times. The Nazaria map, which I've used for a few other examples as well. And when I looked at that, I thought we might just use that and pick another old map of mine and convert it into the Herwin Wielink style. So we not only learn the style, but also get a few extra things out of it, how to convert an older map in a different style into one of the new ones. As always, if you've got any questions during the session, post them in the chat, and soon everybody will take care of them and forward anything to me that I can show on screen. So let's have a look. So we do have the map here, and I'm gonna take a look at the other map that I want to convert. Here, this is an even older map of mine, the Gwynedd map from the same game setting, bit of a different campaign, but same setting. And so yes, you can see this is an old CC2 style. It's in use here with the old vector symbols. I'm still quite fond of them, but that's mainly nostalgia. If you take a closer look, you'll see that the symbols are fairly plain and don't have that much detail in them. And you can also see the age of the map that I was still using. There's the font called now I can't remember the name of the font. Let's have a look at the Papyrus font. Yeah, generally reviled by typographers and editors nowadays. But back in the day, I was fond of using it. All right, so have a look here, and gonna check out how big the map is first off. So I'm gonna do info, distance, and use the endpoint modifier F5 to measure from this point to this point. And I can see that the map is 500 miles across. And this, I will guess that it's 400 miles up and down, exactly. And so I know how large my new map has to be. Good, and so let's go switch back. You'll notice that I do have two instances of campaign cartographer open at the same time. I'm switching between them with Alt-Tab, so I don't have to load and reload the map again. And so I'll just toggle between these two. And I'm going to start a new map. Don't need to save the changes here. Go the map type Overland Maps. Click next, and there we have the Herwin Wielink style here. And I'm going to use the miles, the imperial version of the map just click next. And normally I would just put in the 500 by 400 size map in here and leave it at that. But I want to change the default scale and all the bitmap fills a little bit, make it a bit easier to see here on the screen. So I want them double size. So I'll just start with the 1000 by 800 size and then resize the mapping area so everything else stays at that larger scale. So I'm just gonna leave these as is and click finish, and I'm gonna call my map Gwyneth here. And then I'm going to go in onto File, Resize Drawing Area, and put in the 500 by 400 here. And that way we do have the bitmap fills immediately scaled to this for this size of the map, but keeping the scale from the larger sized map. So it's basically just a double size in here and a little bit more visible on screen. Same with the symbols. I could have done that in the map after creating the 500 by 400 miles map, but it's just a bit quicker this way. Alright, so I've got my blank map, and the first thing I need is to get the coastline over into my new map. Here we are, and I could of course grab everything and pour that over into the new map, but it's probably a bit easier and safer to do it one thing at a time. And so I'm gonna go in and hide all the sheets except of the land sheet. I can also even auto hide this sheet, so when I click a new sheet or switch to a different sheet, it will automatically hide everything else. And there we can see we just have the land polygon here and one little island I think I have on the coast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this to the clipboard. For that I can go through the edit menu here, copy. I can also just hit Control C, just like in any other application. Then I'm going to select everything and right click do it and use 0, 0, the default, as the insertion point. Now I'm going to switch over to my new map, use edit paste. See, you can see if I zoom up against the white background, you can see the outline of my landmass already in here, and I'm just going to type in 0, 0 for the origin of the map, and there I am in my got the coastline in my new map. You'll see that it's not a fill style but a solid light gray fill. It's a bit different in color from the original. Why is that? That's because our colors are defined differently. If I go in here, use extract properties on the coastline, have a look. This is color 108 here, and I will go back to our other map. Extract properties. And it's also color 108, but we just have a different color defined for number 108. That's why it does look a little bit different. And now I want to change it to the typical fill style for the landmass. And I could use just change fill style, but I might not exactly know which fill style the landmass tool uses in this style at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click the change properties icon and use the change like draw tool command. That lets me choose one of the draw tools I've got here in my map, and there's my land default tool, and then choose my coastline, press D for do it, and that puts that to the fill style the style uses. I'm going to turn on sheet effects so I can see the coastline a little bit more clearly. And there's my coastline on the map. First step done. Now let's have a look. What else do we need from here? We do have some contours. Do I want these? Yeah, we do have some outlines here. Stuff. Do we want that? We might. let's have a look at how this works if we copy that over. Again, I'm going to do the Control C. Oh, I should select stuff first. All. There we go. Now do it. 0, 0 as insertion. And now do Control V. Here we are. Of course, this doesn't fit our type of map really at all, so I do need to change that, and let's have a look at what that does if we do change like draw tool. Check, we do have a contour land here, and just use this on the prior stuff. Oh, we haven't got that in there, so instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to select by fill style solid, but not the screen we have here. Do it. Okay. And as you can see, this style just uses mostly transparent, brighter polygon for the contours, making the green background brighter as you go up. And I think that works quite well, especially when we do add symbols for mountains here afterwards. Let's give this a try. We can always later hide this sheet if we want to. It should be, yeah. Actually, let's have a look. Did this end up on the hoops? That was not what I wanted. Let's have a look where these ended up. They are on the land sheet actually, and that might not be quite what we want. We do want them on the contour land sheet. That's different between the two styles. So what we're going to do is we're going to move these to a different sheet. Move to sheet by our fill style this time. There we go. Do it. And we're going to move it onto contours land sheet. We do have a little edge effect on here. It's fairly small. We might make this a little bit larger to soften this more into the background. And we might even put the opacity down something to 80%. Oh, is this correct? Let's have a look. Why did this end up? No, it's correct. Okay, yeah, right. The edge fade effect doesn't work on the higher contours, obviously, because it's on the same sheet. But the general opacity should work, so I think that's okay for now. We can always tweak the sheet effect settings later if we want to. Yeah, to suggest a blur, the problem then is that it will blur the bitmap file behind it. And I'm not so fond of blurs on solid fills most of the time. Okay, so that was the contours. Let's have a look what we else have. Borders, not something we don't need that at this time. You can also use the next sheet command to cycle through the sheets. Sorry, no, it doesn't. Actually, I do need to have this as the current sheet for that to work. Next sheet, there we are. That's our political borders. I'm not bothered about these at the moment. That's the coastline. We don't need that explicit coastline on the Herwin Wielink style. The rivers. The rivers is something that we do need. So it's going to copy all these, do it 0.0 origin, paste it again. Here we are. And we can see the colors already pretty good. I'm just thinking, do we want to leave the rivers as they are here? Alternatively, we could change them to be cutting polygons or paths on the land sheet with a color key effect. Let's have a look. Change like draw tool. And we do have this river here. By layer water rivers. Do it. I might just be. Did it change the? Yes, they are on the land sheet. That's correct. Do we? We don't have the color key effect on the sheet yet. So let's put that in. But the color is color 198 actually. Strange that I've used a different color for the drawing tool here. Well, that's been a while ago that I created that. Here we go. Because of the, you see the rivers go so white because the land sheet does have the white glow outline. And that basically makes all the rivers white. I'm not so fond of that in this style. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change them to a different drawing tool. We've got other rivers here. And default river, it's the blue ones. Prior is too long ago, so we're going to select by layer again. Here we are. The only thing is that with this fill style, the rivers tend to blur a bit too much into the landfill on this style for me. So what we might do is actually put a bit more different effect on the rivers. Let's have a look. Rivers, what do we have here? We have an outside glow of the green. Also, that will be hardly visible against the dark green background. So let's make that a much lighter green. Perhaps even make that a bit stronger. Just no. That's going to be very small. On percent of drawing extends with width. Let's have a look how this looks. Are my rivers actually on the correct sheet? Let's have a look. I was thinking they should. No, they're still on the land sheet. Obviously, the change like draw tool there did not change the location of the rivers. Not quite sure why, but not going to bother now. I'm going to move them to the correct sheet myself. With a rivers layer, do it on the rivers sheet. That's more like it. I also wanted to move the river here a little bit, so it's proper. Oh, I might have added a note there. That's better. Yeah, this way. Well, it's perhaps a bit too strong, especially at this zoom level. So I'm going to reduce the strength here. Why am I using these strange 12.5 strength settings here? That's because strength basically just comes in 8 different settings. It's a fairly old effect on the glow, and it just has these 8 different settings, and we express them as percentage to make them a bit more easy to understand at first for when the first time you use them. But what it boils down to that you basically only have these 12.5% steps on the strength, and also I'm used to entering them directly in these discriminations. Okay, so I've got the river. I'm happy with it for the moment. Let's get over to the other map again, see whether there's anything else we need. Different sheet again. I'm gonna, yeah, I think I'm actually gonna grab the roads as well. Oop, here we go, paste them. And I'm gonna change like draw tool these as well. Where do I have my road tools here? Well, there's my road default. And these should be on the structures layer. There we are. I'll leave these as they are for the moment too. There's also a strange thing here. Let's see whether we can remove that. Yes. And bother about the exact appearance later. That was the roads. Next sheet. Now my symbols. Good question. Should I grab these and put them in the other map and then use replace? Not so. Don't think I want to do that with the forests and hills, but I might want the structure symbols. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the clipboard again by layer structures here. Back in the day, I was also usually very meticulous with putting these on their correct layers and everything, because you had to set them up by hand anyway. So this is looking good. Okay. And here we go. And let's just put this on the map here. Oh, and now we can have a little look here how the replacement works. So let's say, or let's do a little list first with a symbol here. It's got a scale of 0.5 and is on the structures layer. Yeah. So let's have a look on our why I'm on the dungeons sheet menu, probably just for messing around with this earlier. Let's have a look. Switching through the different styles. Might not be. Now there's the Herwin Wielink style. So I want this to replaced by the city symbol, and then I'm just going to add it to the, I'm not going to place it on the map here at this point, I'm just going to add it to my symbol definitions of the map by clicking it once, and then I'm going to go into the symbol manager, have a look for my city, walled city symbol, and choose replace, and then have a look at the very end where my new symbol is. Okay. And there's my new city symbol on the map. And if I wanted to get it into the default symbol scale I'm using on the map, I can now go in and scale it in here. Oh, actually I shouldn't scale the definition. Instead I should do that from here. Symbols, scale symbols in map. Do it by 2. And move it. And this is how I want it to look in my finished map. I could still decide to keep the smaller symbol scale, but I'm happy with this for the moment. So next up, I'm going to have a look and see how I can place my mountains. Do I want to actually? I'm thinking I might just add the mountain symbols here as a just general reference for my one, not replace them one by one, but just so I know where my mountains be. Depends on how similar I want the maps to be. Let's give it a try. Let's copy the minerals mountains layer here. Do it and paste this here. That's my. And I'm going to change the layer of these onto a temporary layer so I can more easily select these later and delete them again. Or I could just delete them from the symbol definitions. That would be just as easy. And now I'm just going to switch to mountain symbols here. Have a look. I'm at symbol scale 1, so that's fine. And I'm going to not do every individual mountain here from the old style. Instead, I'm just going to place some mountain symbols by hand. To be overly exact. Here we go. And then do some smaller mountains. That's the snow-capped ones. And the hills down there. And those are the varicolour mountains. No, so we are good with these here. Zoom into this area. Grab the range here again. That fits very well. Section here. Section here. It's a bit too large, so I'm just going to grab individual mountains. I'm going to be ordering the mountain symbols in a bit, and then I can also grab the hills and use these to place hills where the old map indicates hills to be. Individual ones. Look. And this way we're going to fill up all the stuff. Oh, here's a few more mountain symbols. Go. Hills. There's a few more here. There we go. And then we just need the hilly ranges here. The rest of the map. Down this north-south range here, although actually on my map, this is on my world, this is not direct north-south. I used a little bit of different way to orient my maps on there, because it's a continent on the basically on the polar cap of the world, so having a true north-south range on the maps didn't work very well. A few a little bit differently colored hills. Oh. Okay. Doesn't look too good. Hope I didn't crash here. That's not good. I haven't saved in a while. Hope the autosave saved me here. Let's grab the autosave before any... no, unfortunately, it's been a while here since I... Oh, that's actually on the other map. Yeah, that's the downside of having two maps open at the same time. That the other map can overwrite your autosave at the wrong moment. Okay, this is not good. Let's have a look whether we can... This is not looking good. Not sure what happened there. Let's close this map here. Yeah, this is unfortunate. I fear we'll have to redo a bit here at to make this work. Sorry for that. Okay. So no, it's not reacting here. Okay, so I guess we have to bite the apple, bite the sour apple, as we say in Germany, and start over. Yep, that's the map. The other map. Let's have a look what we have. Last time I saved in my video folder. I think that's not much. Bad at saving there. Ooh, that's the first time in all of the video streams that I lost that much. Very nasty. Alright. Let's see whether we can. No, that's the old map. No chance. Alright, so let's start over. And what I'm gonna do instead now is I'm gonna just grab everything and put it over into the new map. That way I'll probably be able to work a little bit faster. So, and I don't have to have both open at the same time. I just grabbed everything. There we are. Yeah, I didn't even. Takes a little bit longer because there's so much in the map, a lot of vector symbols that the cursor redraws. That's why it's gonna wait a bit before the escape hits. And there we are. So I'm gonna resize my drawing area, so it becomes a bit more of an. Okay, or did I put in half the size? Where are we here? Ah, I know why that doesn't quite work, because the other map part has a map border as well, and those interfere. So I'm gonna erase the map border. Ah, there's the cat. Yeah, you can't help either, Asa. I'm sorry. Except you could help by not stepping in front of the video screen. Here we are. Erase by layer map border, but not this one here. Do it, and then let's try with the resize map area again. That's better. All right. So let's see what we need here. Background is fine. That's just my blue one. So it becomes more of an exercise how quickly I can restore the map here. I can use these for later. I'll keep these. That's the land. So let's change like draw tool. There's my land default. There we are. Next sheet, there's my contours. So change like draw tool. Contours, contour land, there we are, all of it. Yep. Okay, next sheet, or previous sheet. Now we are on contours land, so that's previous sheet. Yeah, that's looking good. Next sheet, terrain, ice, mountains. There's my rivers. Change like draw tool. Where's my river tool? River large. I'm going to take the large river now so I can see them a bit more easily. There we are. Next sheet. Don't need the borders at the moment. No lakes. There's my roads. All of them. And there's again my escaping node, which I want to delete. There we are. Next sheet. And here's my symbols again. This time we've got all of them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the layer of the layer minerals mountains here and add them to the temporary layer. Same with the vegetation stuff. Do it, and that's gonna go on a temp 2 layer. Can hide the temporary layers for the moment. Okay, I don't think I need these down here. Erase them. Next sheet, there's my text. I'll need that later. And that's everything for now. So show all, and I don't want the borders at the moment. Don't need the contour C. Well, there we play, and I don't need the text at the moment either. Yeah, there's actually, they've got a question that Jerry recommends, next sheet, previous sheet, button. There's actually buttons on that on some of the menus, but not on the Overland menu, so it might be useful to put that on. Not that many people use it, it's mostly a thing that I do. So it's probably might not be necessary to have it on the sheet normally. But on the other hand, if you want to edit yourself, take a look at the recent video that Remy has done on adding your own buttons to the toolbars. So that can be very useful there. Alright, so I'm also gonna show the temporary sheet again, and to temporary layer I mean, and add my mountains again. So that's something I really have to redo, but otherwise you can see that I've recreated that map as far as I had gone very quickly. So working on putting down mountains where the style does have bigger mountains showing. There again at the same point where my mountain ranges are a bit too wide. I'm switching to individual symbols here. I'm basically mostly taking the gray mountain symbols and replacing them with the dark mountain symbols from the style. I might actually put in some of the snow-covered stuff here a little bit. Might the range gets higher. And then I'm gonna grab the hill symbols for the brown peaks I have on the map. Just placing down some hills, some here. Some individual hills. There we go. And now I'm getting close to where I was, so I'm just going to save this again to make sure this doesn't happen to me again. On this now with the other map not open in the background, at least I would have the autosave to fall back on, which I always set to a fairly small time interval, so it saves fairly quickly in the background. That way, if I have to recover the map from it, I don't lose much work. And here for these hills, I wanted to use the snowy hills. No, I'm going to stick with the green ones for now. Yeah. And some individual ones. Yeah. And now I'm gonna hide the temporary layer again. And I'm gonna do a symbol, sort, symbols and map. All of them. That's looking pretty good. I like the... Somehow I have a special love for the hill symbols in the Herwin Wielink style. I think they blend very naturally and nicely together and into the slightly darker green background. Really, they work. Think they work really well. So let's take a look at the structure symbols and have a look whether we can replace them with ones from the Herwin Wielink style. Again, let's go in here, check for the walled city, and replace them. Okay, then we do have the town walled. So we don't have any differentiation between the walled towns and non-walled towns in the Herwin Wielink style. So what I'm going to do, I'm not sure we even have the, yeah, we have both kinds of town symbols in the old style, so I'll replace both with the same symbol. Okay, what we can do then at this point to just clear this up, we can already delete the old symbols in the map, so we don't need to replace them again. Then we do have the village, the hamlet, bridge. Let's just put in a few at a time. I can already, I think, delete the hills from the old symbols, because we already drew the new ones in there. So here's the village. Replace that with this symbol. Village walled gets replaced with the same symbol. And did I put it in a keep yet? No, I didn't. I put in the bridge. Let's see. There's that bridge. Replace this with this one. Let's see whether we will need any specific adjustment there. Then we do have a castle and a stronghold and a tower. Let's see whether what we've got in the old style in here. We've got a keep. So we can replace that with the new castle. We've got a stronghold. We're going to replace that with a new stronghold. We've got some ruins. Replace that with this ruin. And that's about all the structure symbols. We do have the monastery. Let's see whether we have anything specific for that. In the Herwin Wielink style, we've got some dwarven stuff. We could use one of the elven symbols for that, or an orc town. I think the dwarven hamlet here is quite nice. We might use that for the monastery. Yeah. And not much is left now. We do have that bridge symbol here, so not much anyway. I can just grab this. And as you can see, these symbols are now at half size for the moment. So let's have a look. And is it this size? I think I would love the structures to be a bit larger in my version of this map here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now remove the old ones, all the ones I haven't replaced the stockade yet. Let's see what we do with that later. Okay, and now let's scale symbols and map by layer structures. Do it, and perhaps let's not make it double size, but 1.5 size. Yeah, and there's my symbols. Where they're close together, we might now need to adjust their position a bit. As you can see here, also the bridge is basically going in the wrong direction. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to replace it here manually. Put in size half. 1.5 by 0.5 is 1.75. Go. Place this here. And there's the structures mostly done. We do have the mine symbols here. We might want perhaps replace that with a dwarven symbol as well. Dwarven stronghold is probably a bit large. We've got a dwarven tower. Yeah. Let's replace the mine with the dwarven tower. Did I do that? Replace. Could always be that the symbols on the map... No, there. It did work. Symbol, sword symbols on the map. All of them. Sometimes with larger or higher symbols like this tower here, you get into trouble where they don't quite overlap correctly. What you can then normally do is move them a bit. And then let's try that again. Oh, and the overlap with the other tower is not quite as we wanted. So let's move it further out here. Sword symbols them up. Okay, that's fine. That's a good start here. Now we do need the forests. Let's show the temporary layers again. See, all the old mountain symbols are gone because I removed them from the symbol definition list. And now I want to place trees. We've got tree symbols in here. Let's have a look. We've got no specific tree sheet. What I often like to do is put the trees on their separate sheets. Is there... Okay, everyone tells me that the fourth tower is still buried in the hills. Exactly, here it is. There we are. Let's move this up a bit, whether that works. Symbols, sword symbols them up. No. Let's move it up a little bit further. If it's still behind the others, it might look okay. Yeah, so it's just behind that hill. That looks fine. Okay. So the question is, do I want to draw forested areas? The style mostly uses a non-symbol filled area, just a bitmap fills. But we do have, I've added some woodlands style drawing tools where trees get scattered across the polygon. I think I'm going to use this for some of the larger areas, but this should actually be pine trees there. So woodlands pine. Now just outline the area where I want my woodland to be. Yeah, it's nicely goes behind the trees. That's fine. And then I'm just going to grab the pine trees and scatter a few more around this area here. Covering just roughly the same area my old symbols are. For these small sections here, I really don't need the the drawing tool, it's quicker to just randomly place some of the tree symbols here. For these I'm going to mix some pine trees together with the deciduous trees. Here, scattering around the hills. Oop. For these I might use some of the drawing tools again. Oops. Let's try that again. There we are. Woodlands tool, outline the area. Same here. And then add more single trees. There we go. And we do have some wooded areas here. In the hills. Same up here. Then a few more pine trees up here. We are getting close to finishing with these. A few more here among the mountains. I think it always helps a map a lot if you do mix up the trees with the other terrain symbols like mountains and such. Try not to have your forest too blobby, too perfectly delineated blobs in the countryside. It's better to have them spread around a bit. Looks much more natural. Let's sort the symbols of them and then go in and delete the old tree symbols. There's all the tree symbols. Delete. And here we are. Let's turn on sheet effects. That looks pretty nice. Of course, we could always go in and add a little more individual stuff here. We do have some special pieces here that we need to work on. We've got some hinges and stones. So I'm just going to grab the hinge symbol here and place that in those locations. Let's see whether we have any others on the map. I've got one symbol here. Anything down here? We've got that stockade down here. For that I'm going to use orc symbol. And we've got these. Okay, that castle there is a little bit too much hidden behind the hills, so I'm going to move this up. And we've got the tent symbols here for the nomads on the plains, and I'm just going to use a slightly different colored village symbol for that. Here. On the map. And now I can go in and delete the rest of my old symbols. The mine as well. The kern. Any more? No. There we are. Okay. Can actually, I do have the old coastline on here. See the black line on the coast. What I might want to do if I want to blend the rivers more into that, replace that with the fill style matching the rivers with a wider line. But for now I'm just going to hide the coastline. I think it's just on the land sheet. I need to hide the layer. It should be on its own. No. Coast C. Let's use info to find out where the coastline is on. That's the land polygon. It's first below, and no, it did have its own sheet. I was just a bit too quick and didn't see that. Where's my... it's right there in the end. That's why I didn't see it. Alright, so good. So far so good. And then I'm gonna take a look at the text sheet here. And let's have a quick look what we can do with the text here. Not looking too bad. I just would like to change the colors a little bit. Generally, got an auto glow here, but a dark one. I could put a light one instead. Let's make it already a lot more readable. Also a lot more busy. No, I'm gonna change that back. Make that dark brown. And instead I'm gonna change the color of the text. Change color by entity type to the text. Okay. Except not by this color, because I want to keep the red. And these are going to go white. And then I'm going to make the text a little bit smaller. Change text properties, prior. Combine not the big C text here. And change that to the Tolkien font that I've been using on that map style instead. Let's make that 10. See, could even be a little bit smaller yet. Change text properties, prior, default do it. Let's make that 7. Yeah, that's looking good. I like that. Then with those are the country names, the big red ones. They can be a bit different. And I'm gonna change the color here of the to blue. Alright, it's looking pretty good. And now I can go in if I want to and add some specific things for the style. For example, here add a bit of marshy area here. This area, use the trace tool to follow the coastline. See, sheet effects set up to blend that nicely into the background. Same, let's take a grassland style here, and this goes all around this area. Those are the cold plains here. Actually, I should change that text bit here. It's too similar to the other text bits. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use keep on this here. Change text properties to this. And change everything. So I want to change all text properties of that text I've selected to the one I've just done previously. And then I just need to change the color. I don't want to make it red because it's not a country, not a political entity like the country names there. And I'm also going to make it a little bit smaller, but this is I'm just going to do visually. There. Good. I think another sheet that I had in here, so I've got the contours C, And these I'm gonna change also with the change like draw tool. And I've got C contours here. I want the dark ones prior. No, actually not prior because I didn't select it previously. Just these ones here. And this was just more gently fade the C into a darker area. That's fine. And then I've got the borders sheet. Didn't I? Oh, I've got a pretty bit edge fade on that. If I deactivate that for the moment, yes. So there's my political entities, and if I want them in the map, I can opacity, that's 0% opacity. No wonder it didn't show up. Let's make that map units a bit larger. Opacity 20%. And there I've got my political borders on the map, if I want them. These are basically clan borders in this kingdom here from my campaign setting for the different clans that are ruling the country. And then the coastline, I don't want that, so I'm just going to delete that sheet with all the entities on it. And there's my conversion. And just in time, just a minute past 7, even though we had a bit of a setback with the start of the map lost a little bit, we managed to pretty much convert this. Well, we still have stuff to do like add compass rows and scale bar, but that's not different from any other map. And you can see how this map turned out quite different and still nice from the old one. Pretty good, pretty happy with how it turned out. So I'm gonna save this for my stuff. If I ever get to play in that setting again, I can use the map. Alright, thank you very much everybody for watching. Sorry for the unfortunate crash we had there, but I think we recovered pretty nicely. So remember, don't, if you're working on something larger, don't have a second map all up in the background all the time. That might interfere with your autosave drawing. Next version of Campaign Cartographer will have a better, more robust autosave system where stuff doesn't get overwritten by other stuff. Pretty sure that's in the works. So, excellent. Thank you very much. Hope to see you again next week. I'll be off tomorrow and for a visit to Spiel in Essen. Not business, just having a look around. And happy mapping. Good weekend after that. And bye-bye.